Hello and Namaste. Nowadays we are hearing a lot about VCI election. A lot of buzz is being created. Rightly so, because VCI election is going to be held. So why we people should think about it? Why we people should vote for a particular person or for a particular individual? I am here, I'm not asking you people to go and vote for certain individuals. I'm not endorsing any individual. I just want to put forward my views with regard to this VCI election. Before I could start narrating the entire story about it, let me tell you something about the VCI itself. Veterinary Council of India, this act was enacted in 1984, and we were fortunate enough by then because it had laid down a particular guideline so that under the purview of that particular act, the veterinary profession would strengthen its root. And in 2019 we were also fortunate enough that we were bestowed with one of the robust ministry at the center itself, Ministry of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairy. So one cabinet post is there and one state minister is there. So now if I could talk about the VCI itself, when that act was passed by the parliament, so that act is sacrosanct, it has legal backing. So few objectives are enumerated in that particular law. So what are those objectives? And before we could cast our vote, kindly go through those objectives. Why this institution was created? What was the need? Three important objectives I just want to bring before you. First objective, the institutional recognition is done by the VCI itself. Few guidelines are there. Those guidelines have to be followed by a particular institution. So regulatory mechanism is there. Second, and very important topic, that is imparting some ethical, moral, a particular behavioral code in the students, those who are pursuing that particular education. And third, this particular VCI at the center and state council at the state, these are duty bound to give advice to the central governments or for that matter state governments. So what are those advices? Those are on the technical front, those are also on the administrative front. So before we could think about this election, please kindly go through some of the candidates, those people who have concretely worked on those objectives. What do we need? We need an education where ethics, morality and code is properly taught, because once we get out of that particular college, we should survive in this competitive arena. Second, what are the qualities which we get inherited in those institutions? Would it be possible to land up in a particular industry with a particular job? The quality education is must. And third, the infrastructure should be of quality, great quality, or I would rather say of robust quality. So these are the parameters upon which we should compel these candidates to talk about these particular issues. So I'm not asking you people to go and vote for a certain individual because they might have your allegiance or so-called relationship when you people were there in the campus itself, or he might be your relative, he might be your senior, he might be your junior, he might be your senior colleague out there. And do not get perplexed by just looking at their degrees, whether they got PhD, PDF, work in those institutions, also have PG or NET. See, this is very peculiar. We oftenly get misled by these issues. Okay, an individual who is possessing extraordinary qualification may always not have that kind of moral or ethical values. So while casting our vote, we must ask a simple question. The individual whom I am going to vote for, is he going to bring about certain changes in our professional life? Does that individual know something better about the profession itself? Can he sometime dissent his voice against the establishment, or would he always try to toe the line of the establishment? If he thinks that he could dwell upon this particular issue, then he is the right candidate. Nowadays I am just witnessing a lot of words: uplifting veterinary profession, making it robust, strengthening something. Do we know what are the core values of veterinary profession? Yes, we should have sound knowledge, we should have robust infrastructure, we should strengthen our communication, and we should have a great and formidable regulatory mechanism in this nation as far as veterinary profession is concerned. So on these front, we must work very hard as an individual, and we must seek the individual whosoever is contesting this one to formulate such a policy. VCI plays very critical role because it advises central government. It somehow gives policy formulation mechanism to the central government. It has wide regulatory mechanism in place. It can objectify a particular institution. It can recognize a particular institution. It can, or it has been maintaining a veterinary practitioners register. So these are quite essential topics. We need to understand them thoroughly. Just merely understanding aura of an individual, that he could come forward and help us. No, we do not need an individual who need somewhat upliftment words in his own dictionary to showcase that he is very much serious about it. No, we need an individual who is assertive enough. Sometimes he may express his own views in contrast with the established norms, and sometimes he also accompany the establishment in formulating good regulatory mechanisms. So these are few norms which we must understand before casting our vote. Three important topics which I would end with this. First, kindly give your vote, valuable vote, to the individual, to an individual who would listen to you and probably would take your views into account as a representative. Second, the institution who has tremendous experience in the field, even he is an academic or if he is in at the grassroots level practicing. Third, we must understand what basically our profession want. Our profession want sound regulatory mechanism, robust infrastructure, and ethical and moral values to be bestowed upon. Once these representatives attain a particular chair after election, those people should not forget that these people have elected us and we have to work for them. So at the hindsight, we must think prior going for voting that this profession depends on our single vote, because these people, those who will be sitting at the top, will be giving their input for the policy formulation. So do not take this an issue of somewhat very meager importance. No, it would change the contours of veterinary profession in years to come. I am an individual, I have my opinion, you people can have your opinion. You should have informed opinion. We are informed citizen. We are getting a lot of information from different sources, but we have to analyze that information through our perspective. So those individuals who are doing truly noble work in the profession itself, and you could sense them that these individuals can do better job at that particular platform. Kindly vote for them. Thank you.